Guys, I'm King Kitsu, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get started on your very own Paladin armor from Netflix's new show, Voltron Legendary Defenders. This cosplay calls for sharp objects, dangerous tools, products with fumes, and products that can be dangerous when in contact with skin. So if you're 17 and under, please make sure you have parental supervision. Don't do this on your own. On another note, making this cosplay sucks. It sucks so much that I'm just going to get that out there right now. You're going to make so many mistakes. You're going to go through so much like trial and error. You're going to be frustrated. Just remember to have patience. Believe in yourself. It's going to suck. Also, another bonus, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look exactly like what it looks like in the show. You'll be fine. You'll be fine in the end. You will be okay. Cosplay is for everybody, but making your own cosplay is for people who have the patience to do so. First off, your shopping list. All materials can be bought in separate groups and not all at once. To get started, you will need plastic wrap, masking tape, scissors, markers, poster board, EVA foam, a box cutter or a heat tool, heat gun, contact cement, parachute clips, 2 zippers, a Dremel, and a hot glue gun. All the other materials will be covered in the next video. For now, this is a good start. To start off, grab a friend for help. You could do this on your own, but it's going to be a bit hard. You will only need to wrap one side of your body, one arm, one leg, and then your chest. Plastic wrap around several times, then start with the masking tape. Draw the armor and make sure that you label which piece is which, and make sure you draw a line for the seam as well. When you're finished, you should be able to have a pattern for your upper arm, your elbow, your lower arm, your thigh, your knee piece, and your calf piece, and then the entire chest piece. With your scissors, carefully cut along the seam line. Now take your masking tape and plastic pattern and transfer it onto poster board. Don't just trace it. You will need to add some space to the seam because the foam is thicker and you won't be able to fit into a skin type foam piece. Adding more space is also important if you're planning to have battery packs for your LED lights. Now you're ready to transfer the patterns onto your foam. Make sure you do one pattern at a time. You don't want to cut out all the pieces and then find out that they don't fit. Before you cut into your foam, you want to make sure that your box cutter has a new blade. The sharper the blade, the smoother the cut will be. Dual blades will give the edges a rigid look. Each armor pieces require different ways to be put together. I'm going to go over each piece one by one, starting from the most difficult to the easiest. Now let's start off with the torso piece. It calls for the most seams and needs extra attention for lights, closure, and sanding. First, cut out all the pieces. Heat the shoulder and chest and back pieces first with your heat gun. Bend the foam slightly at the shoulders. Apply contact cement and allow that to dry before adding a second layer. For trial fits, only apply one layer so that the bond isn't permanent and you can make adjustments where needed. Next, glue the 4 sides to the front and back. Do not glue the side seams. This is where your closing will be. After fitting and making sure you're comfortable, use the heat tool or your box cutter to cut halfway through the foam for pockets to fit your clips and your battery packs. Make a pattern for the collar if you didn't before. Make sure the collar isn't too high. You want to be able to move your head freely. Cut halfway through the foam for placement of the LED lights. Heat and shape and then glue them to the main torso. Finally, hot glue the clips in the sides and secure them with more glue on top. Your torso will be done for now. After that, we move on to the calves. These are a bit complicated because they call for an opening and closing. They cannot easily be slipped on like the other pieces of armor. Clips can be too uncomfortable for closing, so I use zippers for mine. First, cut out and heat up the pieces. With the heat, give it somewhat of a curve at the shin. Have a zipper that is long enough to run from your ankle to about an inch above the thickest part of your calf muscle. Hot glue one side of the zipper on the inside of the seam. The opening of the zipper should be at the bottom starting at the ankle. Unzip it to make sure that no hot glue got in the teeth of the zipper. Apply contact cement to the remaining seam sides. Heat up the foam again to give the top seam contact. You may need a belt or a ribbon to tie around the piece. This is to make sure that the seam doesn't pull apart. Start to hot glue the other side of the zipper to the other side of the back of the seam. Heat one more time to close the zipper and make sure that there's no hot glue in the teeth of the zipper. Next up are the thighs. After cutting out the foam and making sure that they fit, use your heat tool or box cutter to cut out a pocket for the battery packs. Next, cut out the slits for the LED lights. Use your heat gun to heat and shape, then permanently glue the seams together. Next up are the forearms. Cut out the foam pieces. Using your Dremel, sand down halfway through the foam at the wrist area. This makes it easier when sliding your hands through the piece. With your heat gun, heat, shape, and permanently glue together. Finally, glue a small wrist piece to the wrist edge. Now time for the easiest piece, the upper arms. With your heat gun, heat, shape, glue together. Try on the upper and lower arm pieces together to make sure that you can bend your arms freely. For the elbows and knees, just cut them out, heat, and shape them. Make sure that they don't clash too hard with your other armor pieces. That's all for this part of the tutorial. In the next video, you will learn how to harden, paint, and shine your armor. Thank you all for watching. Please be on the lookout for part 2 coming soon.